Trans women are the best at sports. Recently, some green apples have decided that they don't like being called green. They say that it's offensive and that they prefer to be called biological apples. If we meet and you call me by the wrong pronouns, it's gonna be a confrontation, and I don't think you want that. Putting what up for sale? A mold of my before it is gone. A piece of history, of my history. As far as I know, I am not getting sued, and I don't expect to. People have started realizing that if they make up a story about me, they can get a lot of views.
Yeah, we're investigating this. We do not tolerate men or boys in women's and girls' restrooms.
So I'm in a weird place today because my power is out, so just ignore the background of everything. For all you know, I ran into somebody's house and I'm now filming in it. Kind of what I did though. Hi, hello, welcome back. I'm super glad you guys are here because some big news dropped this week and I just want to share it with you all. Because if you didn't know, you are who I talk to about all of the weird internet happenings that my friends don't care about. So yay for an extra video this week. You're welcome. I'm just saying that to editing Ashley because she's gonna be real stressed out. Please send help. She was not wrong. Anyways, recently I made a video about a trans-identified TikToker known as Lily Tino. If you didn't see it, firstly, head over and go watch it so you can get caught up. But just for a quick refresher, in addition to spending time harassing unsuspecting wait staff, the culinary nuisance has made a habit of frequenting women's restrooms and talking about inappropriate subjects in questionable locations, like detailing gender transition surgery at children's theme parks.
I think Disney's gonna ban me for this one. My corn dog is still intact. I'm not happy about that, but sadly it takes a long time to turn a corn dog into a inverted corn dog.
That corn dog haunts me. Tino also has a history of reaching out to younger audiences, like teaching about pronouns dressed as Miss Rachel, or directly giving children advice on how to transition. And recently, Tino received waves of backlash after the latest attention-seeking stunt. While at Disney World in Florida, Tino decided to use the women's restroom, but this time took it a step farther by taking photos in the bathroom, some of which included women in the background. Tino also rated the bathrooms based on random people's trans inclusion practices. That's certainly not a thing that I, as an adult human female, have ever done because, you know, I'm not a weirdo. And the bathroom selfie incident has spurred on waves of backlash because of Tino's very obvious lack of respect towards women's spaces and our privacy. And like I said in my last video, one of the women who appears in the background of these selfies has said that she will be pursuing legal action. You would think the widespread negative reaction and impending legal threats would cause a person to pause. Perhaps they would reevaluate the tactics they use or the message they are sending with their behavior. Alas, this person won't shut up. Tino decided once again to double down, posting several videos mocking the situation, as per usual, and confidently denied any type of wrongdoing.
There's also talk of me getting sued for my bathroom pictures at Disney. As far as I know, I am not getting sued, and I don't expect to because I didn't do anything wrong. Then there's the petition. Yes, 500,000 people or whatever number it is now have signed a petition to get me off of TikTok. But that doesn't mean it's gonna do anything. If word of this petition ends up on someone at TikTok's desk, what they'll do is say, did Lily violate our terms of service? The answer is no, so they will not ban me. People have started realizing that if they make up a story about me, they can get a lot of views. And that's not fair to you, the viewer, or to me.
Even going as far as posting a video pretending to be a woman encountering Tino in the bathroom, and decided to include an imaginary child just to add insult to injury.
I am suing Lily Tino for emotional distress. Last week, I was in Disney World in the women's bathroom with my child. And when I walked into the bathroom, there was Lily Tino taking pictures in the bathroom mirror. And she turned to me and said, "Hey, let me get your face in this picture." And I said, "No, thank you." But then she took the picture anyway of me and my kid, and I felt this really weird feeling. And I looked down at my kid, and my kid got turned into a corn dog. Lily Tino turned my kid into a corn dog. And then she looked at me and said, "Oh, that'll be great for a video. Can I use your corn dog kid to explain bottom surgery?" And I was about to say no, but then J.K. Rowling walks in and says, "I'm here to defend defend real women. But of course Lily Tino pulls out her wand and starts using transgender magic. But J.K. Rowling was ready and pulled out her wand, and they did the thing where the spells go like... But J.K. Rowling was really smart and used a misgendering spell on Lily, and Lily got banished to the Shadow Realm. Then J.K. Rowling turned to me and said, "Don't worry, if you get banished from the Shadow Realm, you are also banned from Disney. So you don't have to worry about Lily Tino anymore. But you should probably still sue her for emotional distress." And then she turned my kid from a corn dog back into a kid, and we high-fived and took a bathroom selfie to celebrate.
Why are you the way that you are?
And Tino is right back to the weird food analogies in the wake of all of this. This time, it's apples.
Recently, some green apples have decided that they don't like being called green. They say that it's offensive and that they prefer to be called biological apples. But if you call a green apple a biological apple, then you're indirectly saying that red apples are just pretending, like they're not actually apples or weird somehow, and that's simply...
Stop it! You're gonna make me throw up on the cake.
But it seems that the road to online infamy comes with some perils. Because earlier this week, while appearing on the Benny Johnson podcast, the Florida Attorney General announced that they would be launching an investigation into Lily Tino.
There's a TikTok influencer named Lily Tino who is who's taking videos and photos inside of the women's bathroom in Disney. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. There's no way that this can be legal in the state of Florida, right? This is a transgender influencer. This seems to be like, first off, like you shouldn't be allowed to like film inside of bathrooms. It seems really creepy. But then here in Disney, it's like extra layers of creepy and wrong. Is there anything happening from a state level on this topic?
Yeah, we're investigating this. We do not tolerate men or boys in women's and girls' restrooms, gyms, private spaces, no tolerance. We're investigating this one. We've already cracked down on some gyms in South Florida. They were allowing people that identify as women to go into women's locker rooms. We put them on notice that legal action was coming. Thankfully, they changed their ways. Alachua County, a public school system, they had a camp, Camp Crystal Lake, where they were allowing fifth grade elementary age boys to identify as girls and stay in the girls' bunks. We shut this down right away, too. Thankfully, they did not fight us on it. It's amazing we have to have these conversations today. But here in Florida, we believe there are two sexes, men and women, and we are going to protect our girls at all costs.
Now, under a more recent Florida law, males cannot use women's restrooms. And Florida does have a law against filming or recording anyone without their consent in places where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy, like a bathroom. And if you remember in my last video, the curly-haired menace said he welcomed legal action because it would draw more attention to trans issues.
If truly they wanted to say it was against the rules for you to take bathroom selfies, that will ultimately be a good thing. You sent not like that I'm happy to be in trouble that way, but this is what it is being an advocate. That if they do that, that will do nothing but draw more attention to the issue. It would be a public debacle, and that's good. Because we want that conversation out there.
I wonder if that's still the vibe. And as I've said before, the American version of Jessica Yaniv here actively seeks out conflict.
I know there are people out there who are hell-bent on never, ever being accommodating to trans people. Like, I will never call you by those pronouns. You will never have my respect or whatever it is. And like, is that really worth it to you? Putting all of that effort to be nasty? Because if we meet and you call me by the wrong pronouns, it's gonna be a confrontation.
Mildly threatening, but okay.
And I don't think you want that. I think you just want to go about your day. I want to go about my day. I don't want to have to be upset about getting misgendered, and I know you don't want to purposefully upset people. And if you do want to purposefully upset people, then you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself why. Why am I like this? Why do I want to make people's lives harder? Why don't I want to lift up my fellow human? Like, who raised y'all? Who made you so hateful and upset?
I could ask you all of those same questions. For instance, who raised you to harass people for free meals and intimidate women and children in bathrooms? Even other trans influencers are supporting the cancellation of Buffalo Grill. One trans woman called Jade Duggar spoke out against Tino's bathroom stunt, saying trans women do not walk around begging to be misgendered or enter women's spaces specifically to cause trouble. I mean, this person does actively go around causing trouble. And you all keep saying that if somebody says they are trans, then we have to believe them. So it does in fact seem like some people who are labeling themselves as trans women specifically go into bathrooms to cause trouble and harass people and do all sorts of weird things. A little gatekeeping doesn't seem like such a bad idea right now. But now that activists see just how much people like Lily Tino impact the public perception of trans people, they are now running at breakneck speed to try to separate themselves from this person. While responding to a commenter, another trans TikToker acknowledged the harm Tino does to the community.
This is why the Lily Tino stuff is so important. At best, she's creating rage bait content with a complete disregard for how her behavior impacts the trans community as a whole. At worst, that impact is the point. Lily Tino deserves all the criticism that she's been getting. She deserves to be unfollowed. She deserves to be blocked. She deserves to be canceled.
Another TikToker says they don't see Tino as a trans woman at all, but more so as a person cosplaying as a woman.
I do not think that Lily Tino is a trans woman. I think that Lily Tino is a man cosplaying as a trans woman. He knows that he's going to upset people with the stuff that he does and the antics that he pulls. And so he just uses it to monetize it.
Some are even questioning the validity of Tino's transition, saying they don't see real evidence of a medical transition at all, but more so seeing procedures that men regularly pursue anyway, like the hairline reduction Tino got when they claimed to be undergoing facial feminization surgery.
This has been in the back of my mind for a while, but I'm finally gonna say it. I don't think Lily Tino is actually transitioning. And I don't just mean, oh, they're acting kind of weird. I mean, straight up, if you look at any of the stuff to do with them medically transitioning, it doesn't make sense. Because think about it. I'm trans, and I have bigger boobs than them at 9 months of hormones than they do at like 3 or 4 years. What's up with that? And Lily always talks about getting the cake pops removed, but anyone that's seen the OF leaks knows that there's a little more going on down there. And kind of wild how they have an OF when most people who have like surgery down there like need testosterone replacement to like maintain libido. And a lot of people were talking about the FFS and how basically nothing changed. The only scar you can see is on their forehead, and plenty of middle-aged men can get their hairlines lowered, so there's nothing trans about it.
And others have pointed out discrepancies in Tino's surgery timelines.
I went into the cesspool that is Reddit, which I don't like ever doing. They were showing clips of Lily Tino, and there's this one where she says, I got my cake pops removed. But I looked up on here just to see, because I was like, wait a minute. I saw some cake pops. What do you mean you got your cake pops removed? What the? So I saw that that video is apparently like a year old, saying that she got them removed, but they were in that photo for sure. I know what I saw. And in the post, she's saying that like she fundraised on TikTok to be like the money for TikTok is what paid for her to get her nuts removed. Because you're telling me that she said she got that surgery. There are pictures showing that she did not, and she fundraised on here to get it though.
And this is just speculation, but some people are noticing some interesting patterns. But others are so committed to the cause that they are still regularly upset at anyone misgendering Tino.
Lily Tino is a predator, and she's not really trans because she's making the trans community look bad. Where do you draw the line with that?
But the thing is types like Tino do reflect negatively on the trans community. When someone like Tino is protected and defended, they illustrate how many people will ignore bad behaviors as long as a trans flag is in front of it. Like, who cares if anyone respects this person's pronouns? If we shouldn't lump Tino in with the rest of the trans community, then why are you, by demanding that we all adhere to the pronoun game? Which I'm not gonna do anyway because, you know, I have free will. And these individuals also illustrate how easy it is for people with bad intentions to pick up the trans gauntlet and run with it. They use it to gain access to places they shouldn't be in, or as a way to control everyone around them, or both, usually both. And it's not like Tino is one of a kind. There are tons of videos showcasing unhinged behavior in public from people who claim to be trans women.
Trans! I am a nut muppet, darling. I am a muppet. I am a muppet. I'm a trans muppet. Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights, darling.
Tino and similar trans influencers embolden people to act in similar ways and display similar behaviors.
I got so mad at work today, I got misgendered by customers 5 different times. 5 different times. You could obviously tell I am a woman. And I got misgendered 5 different times. I finally yelled at one of the customers and looked at him and says, "Do I look like a goddamn man to you?"
Popeye's Chicken needs to know that it is not okay for their employees to be like calling trans women stuff. To like intentionally like fucking fuck with me after I did something he doesn't like. I heard the motherfucker call me soot. Okay? And he can lie to save his ass because they're always so spineless and weaselly. But the world will fucking know at least that if you do this, if you go and you fucking accost trans people in public, we can hold you accountable. We can just make a fucking batshit scene and some of us fucking will.
If you ever find yourself wondering how this movement collapsed just as quickly as it took off, you know, the call is coming from inside the house that you need to clean, because these are all the little dust bunnies that you've left behind and forgot to sweep up. And now they really have made a mess of things as they collect, you know? People like this are allowed to go too far because the threat of being labeled hateful had society walking on eggshells for far too long instead of actually doing something about it. So I'm very happy that we're done with that now and that we are seeing an investigation come to light. And I really hope that the vile spaghetti head is held accountable. And I will keep you guys updated as we go. Obviously, we don't have like any information right now. It's just that we know that this is happening, which is really great. I'm very excited. And I really do think Disney should enforce a ban too, because it is their park policy to not record people in the bathroom, and Tino directly violated that. But that is my take, and I would love to hear yours. What do you think about the investigation? Do you think in light of this, Tino will start singing a different tune to calm the waters a bit? Or do you think the trans-identified tyrant will just double down as they usually do? My bet is the latter. I think he's about to get a lot worse. Do you think this person has taken advantage of self-ID? And the most important question of all, of course, are you also haunted by the corn dog? Like this video if you thought it was worthwhile. It does help with the algorithm. Also, if you guys could let me know just some topics that you're interested or would want to see me cover in the future, then I can just add those to my list of running ideas and get you guys some stuff that you genuinely want to see too. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on Monday.